Today, we have Reverend Jim Harden, the CEO of CompassCare, a collection of pro-life medical offices with pregnancy centers around the country, one of which in Buffalo was firebombed by pro-abortion activists in June. Thanks for being with me today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
Of course. Now, the Buffalo location, as we know, reopened after 52 days of rebuilding, but not after $100,000 were expended for security and additional measures, which that's good to hear, right? But what we know right now is that there have been no arrests of the perpetrators in that incident and many others across the country. Is that correct?
Exactly. Yeah, there have been no arrests made and 78 other attacks or 77 other attacks on pro-life pregnancy centers nationwide, many of which were done by a pro-abortion violent domestic terrorist group known as Jane's Revenge. At least they claim responsibility for it. So yeah, we're very disappointed. I believe, and many of us believe, that the FBI and the Biden administration's DOJ is robbing pro-life people and organizations of equal justice under the law.
Right. And on that Jane's Revenge note, that was a particularly scary time, as you know, for many pro-life pregnancy centers, because they were promising to, ravage all of these medical offices. They were promising, a day of rage?
Yes. They were encouraging a night of rage on June 24th, the day that Roe v. Wade was overturned with the Dobbs case. And I asked the FBI on that day if they had allocated any additional law enforcement resources to protect pro-life organizations and people. And they refused to answer me. In fact, said that they were going to talk to me again. And that was the last time I heard from them, until Senator Ted Cruz and 39 other senators and congressmen sent an open letter to Director Christopher Wray of the FBI demanding to know why the FBI has abdicated their duty to investigate violence against pro-life pregnancy centers.
So we don't have any leads that you know of on Jane's Revenge?
No, the FBI is not forthcoming on any of that. Based on our understanding of how the FBI and local law enforcement have been acting, it looks like they've got no leads. But my thinking, and many of us, is that, it's naive to think that one of the largest policing organizations on the globe, with the best forensic technology known to man, doesn't know who's perpetrating these crimes. They have a mountain of evidence, and it took them. They slow walked this one. Look, they're running out the clock on this one. And the reason I say that is because we've got 1 year before the tort window closes in New York. We can't file a criminal suit against the perpetrators after a year, and they know that. And if we find a perpetrator, and I think we're going to, I think that they're afraid that this is going to that would draw a straight line between Jane's Revenge and potentially political bad actors and even big tech.
And from what I understand, your organization or you personally are involved in some of the oversight that's happening with the House Judiciary Committee on the FBI on this question of why there's been this observable delay in some of these investigations on these attacks.
Well, we have been pushing hard since, probably July and into August on the lead up to the midterms. And a lot of congressmen and senators were listening. And thankfully, Jim Jordan in the House Judiciary Committee, as well as others in the Senate Judiciary Committee, were listening and began to ask the same questions that we were asking. And they even there was even legislation that was proposed, at least 2 different pieces of legislation that was proposed to protect pro-life pregnancy centers and other pro-life organizations equally. We believe that there may be a bona fide conspiracy to deprive pro-life people of equal justice, equal rights under the law. It's the 14th Amendment, equal protection under the law. Certainly violations of the First Amendment and through censorship, that sort of thing.
So the FBI did get involved, and after 161 days listed some of the perpetrators of the CompassCare's firebombing on its most wanted website. Is that correct?
That's correct.
But what happened after that?
Well, nothing. I mean, they're feigning interest. They only did that because of pressure from the media and pressure from senators and congressmen. And furthermore, they only did it for us. We we shouldn't have to expend all this time and energy just to get the FBI to do their job. This is an interstate crime that's being committed, hate crimes against Christian pro-lifers. And we've had to expend so much time and energy just to get the FBI to move. But they're embroiled right now. They're under serious scrutiny from the House Judiciary Committee. This is a constitutional, statutory requirement to submit themselves to the accountability of the House Judiciary Committee. They've thumbed their nose at the Senate Judiciary Committee, and it's time for them to come clean. I believe that it's not just the seventh floor of the FBI building that's corrupt. I think it goes down into the echelons. I think it goes down to the rank and file. I'm sure that there's a lot of good men and women in the FBI, but the fact of the matter is, the way we've been treated and the way this has been handled all across this country is reprehensible. I think we need to, take the spotlight of investigation and point it directly on the investigators themselves. I think that the FBI needs to be defunded and rebuilt.
So clearly, CompassCare, other pregnancy centers are feeling, justifiably so, impatient on some of the outcome on some of these investigations. Is CompassCare taking matters into its own hands?
Yes, we are. As a matter of fact, we've partnered with the Thomas More Society. It's a legal firm headquartered out of Chicago. Many believe, in fact, on the pro-abortion side, many believe that Thomas More Society was key in overturning Roe versus Wade, and I think they're right. Yes. So, look, the FBI as federal law enforcement appears to have been politicized, and that no matter where you stand on the spectrum of the abortion debate, that should be very disconcerting to American citizens because it undermines the faith that in the justice system that it's blind. It's no longer blind. It's being co-opted for a political ideology. So, the federal government relative to law enforcement has essentially breached its contract with the people. And so it is a sad day that we feel like we have to take matters into our own hands and engage a private investigator. But, since the FBI is offering a $25,000 reward for information leading to an arrest, we'll be happy to take that reward to offset our expenses.
And if you can, how did you recruit some of these private investigators? Do you have a little bit more confidence and faith that they will get some information that you haven't been able to get so far?
Yes, after talking with our investigators so far, they've already provided insight that we didn't know, very valuable insight, and they do have a track record of identifying terrorists, actually, both internationally and domestically. So, we're happy about that. I don't want to divulge too much information about who they are at this point, just because we want them to do their job unhindered. So. The Thomas More Society and CompassCare are working hand in hand on this one, and looking forward to identifying the perpetrators all across the country with respect to just the 78 attacks on pro-life pregnancy centers.
Well, we will be paying close attention to that private investigation and also what continues to happen with the FBI and the scrutiny that it's facing right now with the House Judiciary Committee.
Great.
Thank you very much, Reverend Harden, for your time. And if you like this video, let us know in the comments below.